What's up, everybody? Nick James here for another episode of Nick's Nerd News. We are streaming live from Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And if I'm not mistaken, if I am absolutely correct, I should now be able to see anybody talking to me. Now, I know we had a little bit of a problem with that last time, so thank you so much for any technical difficulties. We're gonna start. Learning, and this is a process. So episode 3, season 2. Thank you so much for joining. Let us get into it, and that's how we do it, with 4 pillars. I like to talk about DC, I like to talk about Marvel, Star Wars, and Funko Pops. Of course, I want everybody's reaction, so like I said, I'm set up 3 networks now. I'm pretty sure I should be able to see everybody, so this should be fun. I know I just introduced 4 pillars, but before I get into any of that, I know I'm very flaky. There are some Halloween things that I want to do. Halloween was special, so we're going to pump the brakes on the 4 pillars really quick, and we're just going to look at some Halloween stuff really quick, because a lot of celebrities, a lot of our favorite people dressed up, and it's really great. So, let us start looking at some of those, and that first one is Tom Hiddleston and Charlie Cox as Loki and Daredevil. And you're thinking, well, that's what they do. Those are their characters. But no, they switch places. It's a really fun picture. They look like they had a great time. There's a lot of these, so I'm not going to talk about a lot of them. The next one is Paul Rudd with his kid. And what's really funny about this, and you could see in the comment from that awesome commenter, shout out to them, thank you very much for giving me a little bit of content, is that like Paul Rudd plays Ant-Man and his kid went as the Wasp. And so she could literally have the most perfect companion there, but he was like, nah, I'm going to be Weird Al anyway. It's pretty awesome. Very much like it. Up next, almost the winner of Halloween, I'm not sure, you tell me, Kevin Hart as The Rock. Everybody loves that photo of The Rock with the fanny pack, and he's leaning. Kevin Hart dressed up, killed it as that. Good on you, Mr. Kevin Hart. After that, this one might be the weirdest one to associate for some people, especially if you don't know the actor. His name is Will Poulter, and he dressed up as Sid. So that's Sid from Toy Story, the one who would, like, what's the word, disarm, literally disarm, blow up, burn, destroy, lots of things toy. So you see him there with his magnifying glass from one of the funniest scenes of Where Are Your Rebel Friends Now? He looks just like him. If you recognize him, like, have you seen We're the Millers? I like that movie. So if you've seen We're the Millers, you might recognize him from that. If not, maybe The Maze Runner. He's in a lot of different things. Good for you. After that, we have The Weeknd. He dressed up as the Joker, the classic Jack Nicholson Joker. Very good. I think he looks very good. Have you ever danced with the devil by the pale moonlight? He looks pretty creepy. Don't enjoy that because it's scary. After that, we have Cardi B as Poison Ivy. It looks like all of Arkham just broke out. I love it when people, like, with money get to do this. You know, not saying that money makes everything better, but with more expensive materials, you can make better things. That's just what I'm saying. After that, Jason Momoa as Elvis. Have you ever seen Jason Momoa look like Elvis? Well, you can now, because he was on the Ellen. Thank you, Ellen Tube. Please don't sue me. Thank you, Ellen Tube. Thank you, Ellen Tube. Please don't sue me. Anyway, Jason Momoa dressed up as Elvis. It was pretty awesome. I enjoyed that. After that, we have The New Day. Anybody like WWE? Anthony Wyland, you still watching? You like you some WWE. Do you know who The New Day is? Well, they dressed up as some awesome Marvel characters. Magneto, Professor X, and Wolverine. They're killing it. So, I really enjoyed that one as well. All right, we're almost done, guys. Jenkins. Do you know that actor from the Supernatural show? He was Batman. Pretty good looking Batman as well. Awesome. And then finally, I want to have a poll, because I really do think Halloween was won by 2 kids in particular. The first one you might recognize, the Venom kid. We'll pull that up and look at that. It looks really awesome. He's got the Venom arm and he's doing that thing, so it looks like it's the symbiote coming out the back like Eddie Brock. Man, I really enjoy that. How smart is that? And the next one is this kid, and I screenshotted it from a tweet. So you might not be able to read the words, so I'm going to paraphrase here. And it's, this is my kid. He dressed up like this. He didn't go trick-or-treating or asking for candy. What is he, you might ask? He dressed up as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So every single time one of a little kid who's dressed up like an Avenger or any Marvel character would walk around, as he'd see them, he would hand them cards like, I mean, are you interested in the Avengers Initiative? Come on. Both of those Halloween costumes really showed amazing character development for them. Sorry, I'm all over the place. They're really both awesome is what I mean to say. You tell me, which one did you think was better? That was Halloween. Thank you very much for indulging me. I love Halloween costumes. I like looking at all of them. But with that, we're actually going to start. Like I said in the beginning, I said we had some pillars. We do have 4 pillars here. The first one is DC. So let's get into some DC comics. So Jeffrey Wright is going to be Commissioner Gordon. How awesome is that going to be? If you don't know him, you might have seen him in the Casino Royale or even in the Quantum of Solace. So he's really big in those James Bond ones. Not a James Bond fan, didn't see that, so I'm sorry, I can't really say. But you might also know him from the Hunger Games franchise. Again, I'm not too familiar, but what I have started getting into is Westworld. He started doing some Westworld stuff, so I have seen him a little bit on that and thinking of him as Gordon. All right, I will take that for some Gordon for sure. What do you guys think? I think it's going to be great. Can I turn up the mic? Prison mic. I don't know if the mic can go up any further. How about I'm going to get a little bit closer, reasons I'm broke. See, this time I heard you. Hopefully that works. Hopefully I get a little bit louder. If not, I'm going to have to get bigger speakers. So I'll get right up on top of you guys for this. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the shot too much, though. So Jeffrey Wright is going to be Gordon. I think it's going to be great. The Batman casting seems to be great. You know, we talked about it last time with some Paul Dano and some, her name just flew right out of my head. Zoe Kravitz. Going to be Catwoman. It's really shaping up to be a well-cast movie. Apparently, he's getting into some weightlifting. By that, I mean Robert Pattinson. I just really hope that it goes well because we need a good Batman movie. It's been a while, if in my opinion. But let's just hope with that. Up next, Titans update. Is anybody else really involved with the DC universe and love the Titans? Because me and my producer Megalizer, we like it very much. That is our Saturday morning #1 thing. You know, Friday nights are kind of bouncy on when we're around. We're around Saturday mornings. We watch Saturday mornings, and it is kicking some butt, if you ask me. The storylines are different than the comics that you're used to. The characters are different than the ones that you're used to, but it still works very well for this universe. Take it as it is, you know? Think of every single incarnation as a different ride. This one is a little topsy-turvy and a little bit different than the ride you might expect, but it's still a good ride. I'm enjoying it. We got a lot of different things that happened in this last episode. If you're not caught up... All right, I'm not going to spoil it, but basically it looks like, because it's not spoiling to say, like, it looks like they're done, you know, they broke up, because then the show would be over and we still know we have more episodes. So it looks like they broke up, but they really haven't. So it's left a few people in some wandering zones. And one of those people is Corey, who is Starfire. And we got to meet her sister, Blackfire, in this one. She showed up, took a little bit of mind control of one of Corey's friends. And then at the very end, like kind of burst out of him because he was on fire. If that makes sense. I'm just going to move this over. This is going to be loud for a second. Just so I can move better into the shot. Sorry about that. He burst out of there, and the thing that I had a problem with the most out of that one is as she was talking as Blackfire, as you could see her, like she was in holographic form, it's really annoying that she kept crackling. It's like, wait, you mastered a goo that slimes in through the ear to take full puppetry of people, but you got the broadcast signal wrong? You know, I'm in my basement. I'm going to 3 different signals right now, and that's only out to America. They mastered intergalactic space travel. And we got a fuzzy picture. Kind of bothers me. All right? Kind of bothers me just a little bit, but that's nitpicky. Very nitpicky stuff. The other nitpicky thing I can get with is, like, I really need to see Dick Grayson dressed up as Nightwing. We've kind of been teasing this a little bit too long. So can we just do it already? Let's get him in that costume. Hawk and Dove, they had their own problems. It was actually really touching, but a little too much song and dance. You know, I like me some Marvin Gaye, but let's pump the brakes on that just a little bit. Jason and Rose are doing who knows what. Donna and Rachel. Rachel had to use her powers to get away from Donna as if Donna was even going to try to stop her. Again, really nitpicky, but what the hell was that? Why did she feel like she had to use her powers for that? I don't really know. Slade came back, but we all knew that was going to happen. I really can't wait to see this version. Like I said last episode, I like this version, but he's also, he's really good to hate. I don't want to hate him this much, but I really do hate him just a little bit, so I kind of want to see him lose in this one. And finally, what I think is probably the coolest part was Superboy taking on the cops. He's still such a child. We don't really know his intellectual level. He kind of goes in and out of things, like he can be at a video game very well, but he doesn't know that a cop arresting somebody a little roughly maybe is not somebody that you throw around, and then as they brigade on you, you use your heat vision to kind of blow their stuff up. It was gnarly. It was great to watch. And then Gar just being like, all right, I'm out of here. I don't know what to do with you, Mr. Superboy. We'll figure out your story next episode. He just did straight stayed out of there. It was actually really funny. I'm really enjoying the show. I was kind of worried. So kind of segueing into our next story with HBO Max. What was going to happen with the DC universe and this app? From what I hear, everything's going to be okay. It's all going to transfer over, and we're even going to get some new stuff. So HBO Max on May 2020, $15 a month. That one's a little rough, $15 a month, but you know it's kind of comparable to everything else that's going around. Everything on Studio Ghibli, Friends, South Park, and all of Doctor Who. I thought like that. There's a lot more than that, but I thought that was broad enough for everybody's ears to prick up a little bit and be like, "Wow, if I pay $15 a month, I can watch as much Friends as I want because that's leaving Netflix, you know? The Office is leaving Netflix too. That's not in this story because that's not attached to HBO Max. That'll be on its own CBS thing. I think they're calling that The Bird. Anyway, it's going to have Fresh Prince as well. That's where I was like $15 a month is worth having all the Fresh Prince I want. But the thing that works out for all us DC fans, my segue from Titans to this is that we're going to get a Green Lantern series. I don't know if this is going to be in lieu of the movie that we were promised a little bit ago, but I hope it is in the sense because I want a good anthology series. So we are already getting an anthology series as well with this guy, Strange Adventures, and that's going to be done by the guy who does all of the things at at the CW, Berlantiverse, if you will. That's all coming. It's going to be really awesome. Everything's going to be on there. We're going to get a Green Lantern. But I hope it's kind of like, did you ever see that animated Green Lantern, Emerald Knights, where they go through that anthology? That was good. And especially, hey, let's bring back Mark Strong for some Sinestro. Not much worked with Mr. Ryan Reynolds movie. But at end scene with him putting on the yellow ring, let's just pick up right from there. How about we do that? And do you know what else I'm going to do? I feel disconnected. I'm going to pick this up even. Just 1 second. Now I feel closer. That feels so much better, and hopefully everybody can hear better as well. I just felt awkward sitting at the very edge of that waiting for that to work, and I was out of frame. Thanks for keeping up with me, guys, as I discover what I should do as I'm doing it. Jeez, Lou. Speaking of DC, they're getting a new timeline. So there was this thing posted on DC Nation, and they threw up this timeline, and I kind of had to take it, and I made my own that's not more visible to you, but it makes also a little bit more sense. So we'll put that up, and what it's showing is different years as it's going. So in year 1, Wonder Woman enters man's world. So in the very beginning of DC now, Wonder Woman was first. Second, which they didn't mention in the article, but if you take a really zoomed up, year 2, Flash, Jay Garrick, comes out. And I thought that this was pretty awesome. In year 1, let's back up again. Krypton explodes, and Superman ends up in Metropolis. So that's year 1. In year 2, we get Jay Garrick. In year 3, while Clark grows up, we get to look at Wonder Woman as she joins the Justice Society of America. Again, really cool. And at the same time, if you zoom in enough, I'm not going to make promises because it's kind of hard to see. You also see that Jay Garrick joins the JSA. After that, we have when Bruce Wayne was born was actually the same time Cheetah was discovered, which is really great. And then from there, I don't have it in front of me anymore. Hold on, let me pull that up just really quick as everybody's sitting here watching me do nothing. Because it's actually really awesome, and what I want to do is go through it a little bit more in detail. This is so unprofessional. But again, as you guys are sitting there, finding a way to find patience for me, I'm about to pull it up because I think it's actually really great. Here it is. Sorry, apologies. So year 3, yeah, Wonder Woman joins the JSA, and so does Jay Garrick. After that, nothing happens in year 4. So in year 5, Justice Society enters World War II, and that's a big deal from them. Oh, now it's going to not work. Oh. I'll come back to this. I'll post this later. I'm sorry for this delay. It's just, when the internet... I'm not going to lie. I'm actually asking a lot. I'm broadcasting to 3 different places from my basement. There we go. It's kind of going there. So in year 6, there we go. That's when Thomas and Martha Wayne are born. Or not born, they're married, and then they give birth to Bruce. And that same year is when Cheetah debuts. It's a silent year. In year 8, Wonder Woman heads back to the Mascara. So in World War II, we drop an A-bomb, and she's like, F this, I'm getting out of here. So she heads back to the Mascara. So this is what I think my little hidden scoop is. I didn't read it in the article that I found this in. If you really look hard, underneath everything, so there are, in the columns next to it, it is labeled Batman and then Superman, Wonder Woman, Titans. You see the Teen Titans. You can't see the Flash, and you definitely can't see the one under that. But if you go all the way under that to the right, you can see in green writing. It's too smudged, but my prediction is that's when the Green Lantern comes into play. I think that's going to be great. Hopefully that's right. I enjoy this new timeline that we're working with. I think it's fun. I like that Wonder Woman's #1 and that it's people like Bruce and Clark looking up to her, being like, wow, man, if she can do this, I can do this. This is going to be great. That was a whole bunch of DC. I know, but I'm not going to lie. I'm a little DC biased. You're going to get more DC than you are with Marvel with me. Just going to throw that out in Front Street right now. But for everything there is time for Marvel. Let's get into some Marvel. So Spider-Verse 2, that's right. We got a set date for that. I like that movie. I like Sony for making that movie. I like that it made so much money. It won an Academy Award. It beat out a lot of other studios, and now they're going to make a second one, hitting theaters April 8th, 2022. The little thing that they put out to say that it was coming, a little video, I think it's like 10 seconds long, 10.3 million views in just a few days. Yeah, people are going to flock to see this movie pretty quickly, I would imagine, because I want to see it as much as that. On top of that, as I was looking through, what else is going to come from Marvel? What can we look forward to? My guru in this, if you will, somebody who I think about before I take the stage. There's the Kevin Smith, Ralph Garman, Elvis Duran. There's a bunch of people who are famous and do this. One guy who taught me, yeah, you could do this about nerdy stuff and actually do it for a living was Brandon B.D. Davis for comicbook.com. I like that guy. I follow his writing. So I'm going to talk about him a little bit more in depth right now. He has not been given insider information. He knows just as much as any other press agent for nerdy news or anything else like that. But in doing so, he has been able to see the pieces bigger and smaller, I would imagine. And in doing so, he has kind of come up with this prediction list. And that's all it is. It's just a prediction. We can't 100% say it's going to happen or not. But he thinks in February 2022, we're going to get a Blade and or Fantastic Four movie. Awesome. In May of 2022, they'll hit us with Black Panther 2. And as far as Marvel Cinematic Universe goes, I like Black Panther. I will take a second one of that all day. On the flop side, July of 2022, we're going to get an Ant-Man 3. I watched the last little bit of Ant-Man 2 just so I was caught up on it, and I sat through Ant-Man twice. I saw it in theater and then I bought it. I probably watched it twice. I don't think I've seen it more. And the best part is the guy who talks over the other guys as he's re-explaining things, and it was because of that I was able to sit with that for as long as I did. Sorry, but it is what it is. Captain Marvel 2. Again, let's flip-flop back. I liked Captain Marvel 1. I will take a second one of those, maybe in early 2023, and then to finish it out for what he thinks is going to be phases 4 and 5, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I like Volume 1. Don't like Volume 2. Not even like a little bit. I don't even own that. I own the entire cinematic universe sans 1, and it's Volume 2. So I don't know if I'll see that. And then the biggest prediction that comes after that is he's saying maybe after all of that, that's what's slated, that's what they know they're going to really pump out, they will do what they just picked up from Fox. So maybe we will get an X-Men movie. A new X-Men movie. I would like that. But in terms of Disney continuing to take over the world, because we are still all talking about Disney, from Marvel, and then I'm going to segue into Star Wars in a minute. But Disney is taking over the world, and they own just about everything. So Bob Iger was like, we're going to stop buying some stuff because in my 16 years, I've spent billions of dollars. And just in case maybe I'm still not talking loud enough, that was a B. Billions of dollars. So it's probably unlikely that means, yeah, I'm going to buy something if something's a good enough deal. It's probably unlikely that I'm going to buy anything else, Bob Iger said, because in 2006, he bought Pixar for $7.4 billion. In Marvel, he bought in 2009 for $4 billion. He has Lucasfilm since 2012 for $4.06 billion. And then, as we all know, we got some 20th Century Fox just this March for $71.3 billion. He's been spending money in the billions. I don't even spend that in ones. Like, I can't even say if I added all these up, 7, 12, 18. Like, yeah, no, I spent $20. Like, I wouldn't spend $20 right now. Like, I can't even spend in the ones what he spends in the billions. But it's probably unlikely that they'll buy anything else. Marvel, we were talking about you. That was a little bit of Disney. So how about we shift from one Disney owner to another Disney owner? Say goodbye to Marvel. We'll say hello to Star Wars because I like me some Star Wars. Probably the most of all. So, Star Wars Galaxy Edge in Disneyland opened, and Darth Vader went. Of course, they had a guy dressed up, probably walking around to the Empire March, But Hayden Christensen actually showed up. And what I only learned putting this together at the very end, so we threw up a picture. He's seen with a little girl with a lightsaber. That's his daughter. He's there. He brought her there for her birthday. It was a surprise, and they built a lightsaber. He was outside the Millennium Falcon, inside the cockpit, making lightsabers. Hayden Christensen, I love you. I actually don't mind what you did. I really, really like Episode 2. Episode 3, we get a little whiny at the end. But it's okay, because you have to be emo and whiny to put those feelings to get to the dark side. I understand the choice. It was just a choice that was not worth 6 hours, combined movies. But I still love you, Hayden. I hope you still love me, too. After that, Star Wars is still just breaking records within the first 9 hours. 9 hours. That's crazy. Not even a half a day, they set a new record. I'm talking about, of course, the latest one to come out. The end of the Skywalker saga. It made an insane amount of money. It's now number one. It made 45% more money in faster time than Endgame, which was number one. So that says a lot. So right now, it's Rise of Skywalker, Endgame, then it's Infinity War, Last Jedi, Rogue One. So out of the top 5, 3 are Star Wars, 2 are Marvel. So it shows you to beat out those 4 to rise to number 1 in 9 hours, 45% higher than Endgame. That's pretty awesome. Good on you for that. Star Wars, and then maybe a little bit of bad news. I'm not sure. Again, this is a really topic or a heavy topic area to get into at the very end here. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss have done a lot of Game of Thrones things, and it was even said that they kind of hurried up that last season of Game of Thrones to get to their Star Wars project sooner, and then all of a sudden now they're not doing it. Isn't that weird? They took a Netflix deal instead. Well, not instead. Well, kind of instead. I mean, they were signed up to put out a movie after this movie coming right now. So in 2 years, these two boys were supposed to have the first of a trilogy started, and just a little bit ago, they signed a 5-year, $250 million deal with Netflix. I don't know why people were so surprised when all of a sudden they were like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. I don't know. It's hard to say. That last season was pretty rushed, and it was pretty rough. It was rushed, is what I was going to say. I think they had a lot of other material that was good that we've seen them write and that we've seen them do. I'm not really sure where they're going to go, though. I know where they're going to go with Funko, but I don't know why they would turn away such an opportunity like that. It seems very strange, but it's funny because Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, I don't know if this is all pressy or if she's really just this nice. We hope to include them in the journey forward when they are able to step away from their busy schedule to focus on Star Wars. They're so nice, but at the same time, like, does she really mean that? I'd be really pissed. It'd be like, oh, you got a better offer, now you're going to skip around town? If they do come back, I guarantee they're going to get lowballed. That's just an off. That's just me. I don't know. I'll see what they do on Netflix because I am a fan of Game of Thrones. Like, if we're going to talk the entire thing, yes, I am a fan of that. I like how they took the books. I like how they made their own thing but kept the source material. All these things about Game of Thrones we could talk about if you want. That can even be another pillar. But with nothing new coming out immediately, we are going to take a back step from that. And that's everything for Star Wars, guys. We're just zooming along now. I spent a lot of time on DC. Sorry about that. But finally, I like Funko Pops. Let's talk about some Funko Pops before I look at what you guys have been saying. Hopefully, I swear I really want to see everything. Let's have a cool conversation at the very end of this. But first, Funko Pops. No surprise, as what we were just talking about. It's a fun little segue, if you will. The Star Wars. We're getting new Star Wars pops. So there's regular pops. There's a whole lot of them. A good amount of them just hanging out there. There's two giant ones, both Kylo Ren. One's messed up. One's not messed up, if you will. I'll probably only get the Rey. I really like that character, and I really like her. I'll probably get the Rey. Maybe a Kylo, but a regular-sized Kylo. Definitely not the super giant one. That seems really awkward. And then after that, they have their exclusives up as well. If you're not big into Funko Pops, if you don't really know that much, it's different for everybody. So what happens is sometimes they'll go out to different sources. And one of those is like FYE. The other one will be a Hot Topic exclusive. There's a whole bunch of different things that'll do that as it goes. Ooh, no. Did that go? No, we're still good on Twitter. After that, we have Terminator ones. I'm not even excited for the new movie, let alone trying to get in on it. So I'm not going to pick up these Terminator ones if you had to ask me. But they do look cool, so I can understand why you will. And of course, Rick and Morty. Geez, there's a whole bunch of Rick and Morty ones. People love Rick and Morty. Do you like Rick and Morty? Because if so, and you want to start collecting Funko Pops, they have so many. I think that's why I don't specifically want these, because I don't want any of them, because if I get one, I'll have to run the whole set. It'll be madness. Pandemonium even. It's going to be a lot. So I'm going to back up from the Rick and Morty ones. But if you're interested, again, let me know. And I think that this is the time where I bump the table and I look at the comments. So on YouTube, I have had Daniel and Kelly, or maybe just Daniel. I'm not sure if somebody's working, somebody's not. They have a child, little Leo. Maybe he's just doing some stuff. Can't have both of them. But they were hanging out with me on YouTube. If you're on YouTube as well, load up some questions. We could do that. Prison Mike. That's right. Go to the Chive. They have cool stickers. I like that Prison Mike one. Yeah, HBO Max is only getting some of DC Universe features, just like Crunchyroll, TCM, etc. I'm pretty excited. $15 a month, though. Do I have it in me? I don't know. Hopefully I get a new job soon. I have an interview tomorrow. Yeah, wish me luck. Emerald Knights is so good. Emerald Knights, man, if somebody was like, sit me down and put on a good DC animated, I'm not even huge on Green Lantern. I like them a lot. I really like them a lot, but in terms of what I've kept up with, I'm a little sparse here and there. But that movie, 10. 10 out of 10. Can't agree more. Okay. Here. Yes, you're here. Hi. Thank you. Yeah, Daniel and Kelly hanging out with me on YouTube. If you're not aware of their podcast, go ahead and look it up. They're on every single availability ever. Like if you go to their website as well, like down below where you've got all the fun little links and you click on the things that look like the icons to take you to their social media, they've got all of them. They're everywhere. There's no reason you can't find them. I love listening to them. Just dropped an episode a little bit ago. I haven't listened to it yet because I was doing this. They are usually my Monday morning routine. Love you guys. List next to their news in your resume. Yeah, I should. I'm really thinking about it. 3 episodes in, I don't know if I want to be like, well, I'm a podcast host. And they'll be like, really? How long have you done that? And you're like, 3 weeks. And it's like, And how'd they go? And it's like, well, the first time was a little difficult. And the second time the camera fell. And this time I'm making sure I'm talking to everybody. We're trying. But yes, I think that's funny. I'm going to do that for sure. Let's check over on Facebook. Oh, God, I love everybody so much. I love you guys so much for hanging out all the time. Alex, speaking of Hayden Christensen, ever seen Jumper? I have seen Jumper, and I like a lot of Jumper. I think about that power a lot, especially when I think about Nightcrawler, because that's a whole nother movie, but he's limited to what he could see in order to jump, but it's basically the same power. But imagine, being able to look at the picture, or a picture of I'm saying the 3 statues. No, the pyramids of Giza. Yes, I'm well educated. Looking at those pyramids and going, boom, and just being able to be there. I really enjoyed that. Another one that he's really, really bitchy in, and it has nothing to do with superpoweredness at all. It's him and Kevin Kline in Life as a House. Really, really weird movie. Spoilers, but I don't feel bad. That shit's really old. Kevin Kline, is dying, and he's like, I'm going to build the house I always did. And Hayden Christensen is not really too familiar with son, is forced to help him. Explain a movie badly, but that's what it is, and he's actually really good in it. I think that his whininess serves a place, and when it's focused well, he can do good. He did good in Jumper. Yes, Alex, I do like that. Guess what? Still haven't seen Brightburn. I'm sorry. Oh, speaking of which, I got a whole nother scroll. Let's say thank you to all those people really quick. I'm going to throw that up on the thank yous for Facebook. I got 100 followers on Facebook now, or followees. 100 people like it. I'm not really 100% sure what to say, but 100 people. Let me just keep saying 100. Those people, hopefully I got that scroll going. I do. It's beautiful. Megaliza. Let's give it up to her, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're clapping your hands right now, Megaliza, you're doing wonderful. All these people, thank you so much. If you're watching, some of you even get super duper highlighted awesomeness. Double thumbs up. I love my followers on Facebook, on YouTube, on everywhere. Make sure to subscribe. There's a button there where you got to hit like notifications so you actually know when I'm live. But reasons I'm broke, figured it out. Nervous at GL having a large enough budget as a TV show. Tons of aliens and special effects. That's again reasons I'm broke on YouTube. So they're a little bit nervous. Large enough budget as a TV show. I'm trying to think, because I like Titans. Their budget is limited considering Gar never really shows up. And when he does, he's only a tiger. One time he was a snake, but that's another thing. I think actually if they get like a good face-off team, Kilowog, Tomar Ray, things like that could be done practically. Here I am smacking my face. They can be done practically rather than having to put little dots on everybody. There's a lot of flying. There's a lot of giant stuff to make. But it's HBO. I mean, they make dragons. That's, imagine if they had the Game of Thrones budget inside that. It could possibly work, especially if they get a cheap enough cast. Maybe that'll help balance out some of that. Especially, too, if we do enough flashbacks in every episode. Do you think we'll do Hal Jordan? Do you think we'll just come right off with that? Or do you think they'll go into somebody different? I'm always a big fan of the DC animated. So, like, when I first was introduced, it was through Superman, and it was Kyle Rayner. I would take Kyle Rayner. I would watch that. But, of course, I'd watch, DC animated again. Got me as a huge Jon Stewart fan. So I would watch that as well. So all three of those characters, Hal... definitely not Guy. I don't think I can watch that many episodes of Guy Gardner. But all of them have enough of a background in which we don't need them flying and punching every time, maybe. But at Diplomatic, we can just have a lot of scenes at Diplomatic Owens just being like, I don't know. I don't know either. Maybe we should think about this some more. We're wearing capes and have giant shaved heads. I don't know. Doug Jones, hopefully cast. My man. Doug Jones is not only cast, he's everybody. That's right. Well, maybe not everybody. I don't know. He can't really look like one of those characters. No, he can look like all the characters, but I don't know if he'd strike well enough for Hal. He's just too thin. His one thing that makes him so great in all the makeup is also leading him away from face work on screen, if you ask me. Like, he's a little spooky looking. I'm sorry, Doug. I love you. I think your work is brilliant, but you're just very narrow and little. And that's why you do so well in prosthetics and looking so awesome. I'm not narrow and little. You could take a fat joke at me. I deserve it, Doug Jones. But we're getting a little bit off there. Yeah, Doug Jones cast as everybody and everything. I can't agree with you more. Shifting back, Jordan Fritz has joined. Hey, Jordan. Thanks for watching. Over on Twitter, nothing. We are going around with the scroll again for the second one, so this is great if you're just joining us and you follow me on Facebook. If you were my first 100, your name is in there, so just keep watching. We're going to wrap up very soon, so any more questions that we need to get to. But before I do that, for all those who are watching or maybe watching on replay, you can find me all over the place. I have 4 places to hopefully get in contact with. I haven't figured out if I can also stream this to Instagram as well. I don't think so. I think they like shorter videos. It's not the point. Anyway, the point is you can find me on all these social medias. Subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, follow on Twitter, follow on Instagram as well, because I'm in all those places. It's a good time. I'm pretty sure I'm caught up on everything. Is everybody good? Doug Jones, hopefully cast. Still last one from Reasons I'm Broke. Thanks. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. I cannot say the appreciation level that I get out of it, that I get from you guys hanging out. A lot of likes on different social media and things like that. Not a good amount. For somebody who's just starting, I can't believe that I'm even getting more than one person watching me at a time. I love you. I truly do. It's a little creepy. Not very creepy, but just enough where you're like, that's nice. Lock the door. Thank you guys so much. I think I got everybody here. I got everybody here. Jordan did say hi. Hi, Jordan. Thank you. So we are about to get on out of here with the closing. Again, thank you so much. 100 followers on Facebook. Let's do this again when we got 200. Let's get all the subscribers. Let's get all the everythings right here on Nick's Nerd News. Come back next Sunday, always at 7 p.m., hopefully on all three of these streaming services again, because I think I got everything right this time. But I always love more feedback. So be able to find me on all my social networks. I'm just rambling at this point, but not only am I rambling, I am Nick James. Thanks so much for watching Nick Nerd News. I'm going to get out of here now. Have a great night.